Hello folks, this is Sullla once again, and you're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Ezreal. This is from a normal draft pick mode game that we played just last night. I was duo queuing along with VarisNox, and this replay is going to be from his point of view, playing as Ezreal. I am also in the game, I'm also playing as Nasus, and I'm going to be using that build once more that I talked about in a video that I posted, I guess a little over a week ago on the Button Masters channel. And then everyone else in the game with us are random players who we don't know. So I will pull up the item screen here so you can see the matchups and the initial starting item buys. So we are also matched up with a Taric player, a Gragas player, and a Fiddlesticks player. And then on the other team, we are matched up against LeBlanc, Nocturne, Ashe, Rumble, and Janna. So anyway, there are the items coming in. Looks like we've got a good clairvoyance from our Taric player who's going to be playing support. And there you can see the initial starting items. Excuse me. Now, I have not played Ezreal. I don't think I've ever played Ezreal even one time because I don't own him, and he is one of the more expensive champions to buy in terms of IP. Varus seems to own every champion. I think he owns all of them, and I don't think Varus has played Ezreal very much either. In fact, I think he told me after the game that this is his second game with Ezreal, but needless to say, because I don't have any footage of Ezreal, I wanted to do a game with a different champ. You guys have seen me play Nasus already, if you've been watching some of the videos on the channel, and I've actually had several Nasus videos up, so I thought it'd be more useful to have the video from Varus' point of view and talk a little bit about Ezreal. So a little bit about Ezreal as a champion. He is played as an AD champion, that is attack damage, so you're going to be building items like, Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, that sort of thing, or items that can be part of the build. He's usually built a little bit differently from a lot of the other AD champs. Usually people emphasize a bit more mana on him. People use, sometimes people build Mana Moon. I think that that's kind of gone out of vogue right now, but usually you see people building Trinity Force on him. So doing more of a build sort of similar to what you used to see on Corki, more like the Mana Moon, Trinity Force, that type of thing. The reason for that being because Ezreal works really well with Sheen. It's usually one of the core items in his build. Ezreal's advantages to playing him is his great mobility. He basically has a flash on a short cooldown. That's his arcane shift, his E skill. You can see here he teleports to a target nearby location, fires a homing arrow at the nearest enemy unit. So basically this is basically the skill flash. You can flash over walls, you can flash to close distances, you can flash to get away, and it deals some attack damage to the nearest enemy unit when you use it. So his mobility is really great. His damage early game is also quite strong, using his Mystic Shot, which I'm going to talk more about. This is sort of his bread and butter skill. And his ultimate can also hit enemy units anywhere on the map. He can hit minions, he can hit champions, he can use it to try to steal Dragon or Baron. It's a very useful ultimate. It doesn't do quite as much damage as some of the others, but it's still very respectable damage, and it can hit anything anywhere on the map, which is sort of the advantage of it. Downside to Ezreal, he does fall off a bit in late game. He's also very reliant on hitting skill shots, hitting his Mystic Shot especially in order to get damage. So if you are playing on a bad connection, like let's say you are in Europe and you're playing on the North American server and you have a lot of high ping, it can be tough to hit some of those skill shots. Also, people can dodge around minions, that sort of thing. So some advantages, disadvantages. He is a very interesting champ. There we have a clairvoyance that's spotting out Nocturne up in top lane. He is an interesting champ. He's kind of come back into vogue lately. He's come back into vogue as sort of a counter to the prevalence of people playing Caitlyn in bottom lane, because with his mobility, he can dodge around Caitlyn's poke and or dodge around her traps to a certain extent. So one of the reasons why he's sort of come back into popularity. I still think he's maybe not the strongest AD carry, but he is very much a viable choice, and people have had a lot of success using him in recent tournaments. Particularly a lot of the Chinese teams in the tournament in Guangzhou, China, really seem to like Ezreal. Anyway, this Taric player is taking a lot of harass down to 120 HP, but he should be able to heal himself back up. Does he have any health pots? Yeah, he should. Yeah, there he goes. He's going to eat some candy corn here on the Halloween map that we're using right now. So it looks like Taric's going to be okay. Anyway, right there, so that's basically that's the basic Ezreal combo right there. Use Arcane Shift to close the distance. You can see he used his Arcane Shift to jump past the minion wave and then fire a Mystic Shot. So I'll highlight some of these skills. Like I said, Mystic Shot, Ezreal's bread and butter skill. Very low mana cost, very low cooldown. Although with the way you'll be spamming it, you can run yourself out of mana pretty quickly using it. Basically, just a skill shot fires a bolt of energy that deals physical damage and applies on-hit effects. So yes, if you have the red buff, if you have the lizard buff, it will apply the slow with Mystic Shot. Anyway, right here comes Nocturne right here, coming in for a gank, but it looks like Varus and this Taric player are not going to have any trouble whatsoever. Nocturne just took a bunch of damage and basically did nothing, so a little bit of a failure of communication and coordination on the part of the enemy team there. So again, with Ezreal, you want to be hitting people with this Mystic Shot. You use your Arcane Shift to set it up. It's your gap closer, your way to get close to the enemy team, your way to hit them. There's the range, though. It does have short range. I believe the range is a little bit shorter than actual flash. Not 100% sure. I think the actual flash is a little bit more range than that. But you can see the distance. And then Mystic Shot, I can't show the little particle effect, but it's basically a straight skill shot. There it is. So there's the Mystic Shot right there. Now his other skill, his W skill, is one that pretty much nobody uses on Ezreal. This is his Essence Flux. Fires a wave of energy that damages all enemy champs it passes through. And it affected ally and enemy champs have their attack speed hasted or slowed by 20%. This is a tough skill to use. It has a relatively high mana cost, 60 mana. It's not considered to be that useful. Most of the time people who play Ezreal barely put any points into this skill at all, and only level it at endgame. So you can use this skill as well, but the conventional wisdom is that leveling up your Mystic Shot and your Arcane Shift is just better. And you can see Varus has 2 points in Mystic Shot, 2 points in Arcane Shift, nothing in his Essence Flux. Most people generally regard this as an almost worthless skill, and it doesn't get much play on Ezreal. Then finally, just to round out the kit, his Trueshot Barrage channels for 1 second to fire a barrage of missiles that deals magic damage to every unit it passes through. It deals less damage for each unit it hits. But like I said, the advantage of Trueshot Barrage is you can fire it, you can hit things anywhere on the map. It functions a lot like Ash's Crystal Arrow. You can use it to clear minion waves. In fact, a pretty common thing to do is to, before going back to base, to fire off a Trueshot Barrage, kill all the minions in lane, and then by the time you walk back to lane, it's almost off of cooldown again. Oh, anyway, that random thanks message is Fiddlesticks coming up top lane and helping me out a little bit. I'll talk more about what was going on in my top lane a little bit later on, but for right now, it's just been farm fest and not too much action going on. Right there, Tark stun onto Janna, but it doesn't look like they're going to follow it up. So far, it looks like Ashe Janna has been getting a little bit of the better of this lane thus far. Meanwhile, Fiddlesticks player went to middle lane and together with Gragas, able to draw first blood on LeBlanc. So we have a Gragas versus LeBlanc in middle lane, and it looks like Gragas is going to have the early edge in that matchup, which is good because LeBlanc is a very weak champion late game, and if you're beating LeBlanc in early game, then she's going to be almost useless later on. So finally, I guess the one other thing I should mention is Ezreal's passive. Anytime that you hit a target with any of Ezreal's abilities, it increases his attack speed by 10%, and it stacks up to 5 times. So you can get up to 50% bonus attack speed by using his abilities, and this is one reason why it's a little bit less imperative to build attack speed on Ezreal compared to some other champs. You can rely on his passive to give you some additional attack speed. See, there is, right there, you can see every time he hits something with one of his abilities, that passive gets stacked up. See, right there, here comes the passive, Rising Spell Force, 10%. If Varus uses another skill, he can get up to 20%. So you can stack it up to 50% pretty easily, particularly in late game when your cooldowns are a little bit lower, when you have more mana to play around with. So you can probably see why Sheen works so well for Ezreal, because he's going to be using his Mystic Shot constantly. I believe the cooldown goes down with more points in it. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me, but I believe that the cooldown is going down with more points in it. And so when in late game, you'll just be firing Mystic Shot constantly, and you'll be able to be proccing Sheen over and over again, and you'll be stacking up his passive so that you'll have that 50% extra attack speed. So like I said, you can build a little bit more damage, a little bit less attack speed in Ezreal's build just because of that. It doesn't mean you still don't want to build attack speed, you do, but it's a little bit less imperative in the match in the way that you build him. So Varus, he started cloth armor and 5 health pots. He went with the cloth 5 because Varus said he was going to try a Wriggles build this game. Wriggles the Wriggles build in bottom lane was popularized by Team Solo Mid, particularly Chaox of Solo Mid has used this a number of times in different tournaments and has used it to different success. So sometimes the right idea, sometimes not. Again, it depends on the laning matchups. It depends on what the situation looks like with your carry, with the AD champ you're playing, with the support that you have, that sort of thing. So anyway, we'll get back to that, but that was the build Varus was going for. Now up here in top lane, I'm going to shift the focus up to here for a minute. This Rumble player has been doing what Rumbles usually do, which is push aggressively early in the game. I've been back at my tower the whole game. That's why I started boots and 3 health pots. It looks like there's a fight going on mid, but we can't see it due to the fact that Nocturne ulted in. So anyway, I saw Fiddlesticks was setting up there for a gank. He's going to ult in, and then together the two of us are going to get that kill on Rumble. So very nicely done by our Fiddlesticks player. And yes, that is Surprise Party Fiddlesticks again, bopping along happily with his balloon animals and his little sunflower pinwheel in his hand. So anyway, as I was saying, again, I'm going to try to keep the focus down here, and not just because the replay bars don't show up there in top lane. But as I was saying, in the top lane up to that point, I had been backed up to my tower by Rumble the whole game. Oh, here we go. We have a little engage coming in here, and Varys going to use his Trueshot Barrage, and not quite enough damage to finish off Ashe, or possibly Ashe flashed out of the way of that, but Taric initiating with a nice stun right there, able to get the initial stun. Varys following up with his Mystic Shot with his Arcane Shift, and then using Trueshot Barrage, and they did a lot of damage right there. Now, anyway, I have my teleport back up. You can see I'm doing the Nasus build I talked about before, which is early Philosopher's Stone into early Glacial Shroud, and I'm just making sure that I have a whole bunch of health potions so that I can deal with harass from Rumble. And I do have my teleport up. So if the reason why I typed that is so if we had a dragon fight right here, then I could teleport in. And notice this pink ward here, Fiddlesticks doing dragon in the back. Notice how Nocturne's walking around right there, but he can't see Fiddlesticks, so this is a very clever play by our Fiddlesticks. Throws down the pink ward to make sure they have no ward. They don't have a ward there. Walks into the back, pulls the dragon back into this area, and then just drains it and takes dragon without even a fight going on. Then Fiddlesticks going to come in here and gank in mid. There's the fear effect. Don't think he's going to be able to finish off LeBlanc, but he is going to get a lot of drain on that Nocturne right there. Let's see if they're able to get a kill off of this. Looks like a lot of action on both sides. Can't see the health bar, so don't know how low everybody actually is in this fight, and I guess they're going to back off, and it's not going to turn into a larger fight. But still, major props to our Fiddlesticks player for getting that free dragon right there, and Fiddlesticks is really one of the few champs you can do that with. Due to his drain, he can do dragon very safely. If not always speedily, he can do it safely. So buy that pink ward, throw it down, no vision, pull the dragon into the back, and unless people actually walk into the little pit where the dragon is, they're not even going to notice what's going on. Anyway, engagement going on down here in bottom lane. Here comes the Trueshot Barrage, and they are going to get that. Sorry I missed the initiation for that fight, but it looks like Taric went in and stunned, popped his ultimate, Varys used his skills, and then was able to finish that one off. Actually, Taric finished that one off, so he got the assist. And then meanwhile, another kill in mid. Looks like Fiddlesticks went to middle lane and ganked that. So now Varys and this Taric player are going to be pushing on the tower. So let's see, let's just take a quick look at the scoreboard here. It's 5-1 in early kills down here in bottom lane. Varys has 78 minion kills, Ashe has 75, so it's pretty close so far, although that death that Ashe just suffered is going to set her back a little bit because she won't be able to be farming, of course, while she's in lane right there. In middle lane, Gragas, who just went back to base, I guess I'll keep the focus over there. Gragas has 49 minion kills to LeBlanc's 51, neither one farming very well, but Gragas 2-1-1, so way ahead of LeBlanc at 0-3. So yes, the kills do matter. The kills are worth a lot of farm in and of themselves. It's going to put him ahead. Now, meanwhile, in top lane, I started Boots and 3 health bots because I knew that Rumble was going to be harassing me. The weakness of Nasus is he's very weak in the early game. You need to sit around and farm for the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. So I just let Rumble push me to my tower. Like I said, I'm just doing this build, trying to get the cooldown reduction. Don't have any yet, but I have the Philostone for sustain. Have the Chain Vest, going to go back and pick up Glacial Shroud relatively soon. And I've just been sitting at my tower the whole game. In fact, I didn't even have wards because I was at my tower. Now, Nocturne seems to be jumping in here on a gank, but again, the advantage of Ezreal is he does have that Arcane Shift, so Varys able to blink out of there. Unfortunately, Taric cannot say the same because Taric does not have his own Arcane Shift, and Nocturne is going to get a kill there. Oh, and there's an Ashe at point-blank range. Let's see, there's the Arcane Shift again, going to take Varys back to safety. Here comes the Trueshot Barrage, a very good damage on that Nocturne, and here I'm going to come into the fight with my teleport right here, going to pop ult and need to go after these guys. Right there, Varys is going to kill Ashe, and now, let's see, need to keep chasing after that Janna. Going to use Flash, and let's see, need to use Wither on her, and let's see, there it is, right there is the Wither, and then my ultimate is just going to finish her off from the magic damage dealt to everybody around me. So I'm going to pick up that kill right there. And again, this is why I love having teleport on a champion in top lane. If there's a big fight going on in bot, you just pop your teleport and you're right back. You're right into the fight. The Rumble player on their side had Ignite, did not have teleport, could not chase down here. And that helped us a lot in turning that fight around. I believe we went 2 for 1 overall. Taric died, but we were able to kill Ashe and Janna. Nocturne almost died as well, but we were not quite able to pick him off. I actually misused my skills a little bit in that fight. I think we could have gotten Nocturne too if I'd played it a little bit better. And Taric, after Taric revived, he made a really nice play. He went up the top lane and he held my tower so that it wasn't pushed over by Rumble. And now I'm back here, and you can see I'm going to tell him thanks for covering the lane. So a nice play by our Taric player. And really nice, very polite players in this game too. People were very positive, very nice, which was great to see because in the game we played right before this, we had a Nocturne player who was not the kindest player, let's just say that. He, when things started to go badly, he just started screaming at everybody on our team. And then after the game told us we were all noobs and feeders. So, yeah, I mean, you get players like that in solo queue, but it's not that much fun. So anyway, I have now picked up the Glacial Shroud, so now I have decent cooldown reduction, and I'm just going to sit up here, continuing to farm up my Q, farm up my Nasus, Siphoning Strike, going to continue farming that up. And I have not bought a ward the entire game. I have not had any wards here, but I've been at my tower the whole game, so it's been basically impossible for the enemy team to come gank me, to come kill me. So, like I said, I just want to keep the minion wave right here and farm up my Siphoning Strike. Meanwhile, down in bottom lane, Varus has picked up, like I said, got his Wriggles as his first item. Then after that, he went for Berserker Greaves and went for Sheen after that. So picking up the early Sheen, like I said, Sheen very critical to Ezreal so that you can stack up the bonus on his Mystic Shots. You want to get that Sheen bonus highlighted here for you after you use an ability. Next basic attack deals bonus physical damage equal to your base attack damage. So yeah, it works really well when you're spamming abilities like his Mystic Shot. And right here, Varus and this Taric player. Taric has typical support stuff, Philosopher's Stone, Heart of Gold, typical support stuff. Just going to hold by this tower and continue farming. Anyway, elsewhere on the map, let's try to take a gander around at what else is going on. Fiddlesticks, it looks like he is clearing blue once again, going for an early death cap, which seems about right. Death cap very crucial to picking up on Fiddlesticks. And our Gragas player, look at this, has itemized around LeBlanc, got the early Negatron Cloak, and then now looks like he's building towards a death cap once again there. And he is pretty comfortably ahead in that lane. Gragas once again, so that hasn't changed. Gragas still 2-1-1, LeBlanc still 0-3. So doing a quite a good job there. And if LeBlanc is struggling in the early game, then you're in good shape because she's definitely not going to do anything late game if you can shut her down early game. Varus, a little sloppy on the farming there, buddy. Looks like Fiddlesticks wants to come down here, wants to go for these guys. There is the Arcane Shift into the Mystic Shot. Good damage there on Ashe. Notice that Janna shielded herself, so did not get the shield on Ashe. And Fiddlesticks setting up over here, but instead looks like they're going to go for this Nocturne player. Oh, but LeBlanc's here too, so it's going to be a 2-on-2. Unfortunately, I do not have teleport up, so I cannot jump into this fight. Right there, we're going to have an exchange of kills. Can't see what's going on because of the Nocturne ultimate, and here we go. Now getting into the fight here, but they're a little late. There's a Trueshot Barrage, and going to jump in. There's the Mystic Shot to finish off Ashe right there. Now it's a 2-on-2. Now going after Nocturne, and Varus doing a lot of damage to Nocturne. Needs vision over there, but looks like they don't have it, so it looks like Nocturne's going to get away. Yeah, looks like Nocturne is going to make it out of there. So I believe that ended up a 2-for-2 overall. Varus was able to come in there and clean up a kill right at the end of the fight. A very nice use of abilities. Arcane Shift into Mystic Shot. Actually, he started with Trueshot Barrage, hit Ashe with it. Then he used Arcane Shift to jump next to, I think it was Ashe, right? Yeah, used Arcane Shift to jump next to Ashe, then Mystic Shot to finish off and get the kill. And of course, using auto attacks the whole time as well. And I believe that they have a good chance of getting this tower here on this trip back as well, because Ashe is not here, and they have a lot of minions, so I'm going to assume that they're probably going to finish that off. Looks like Varus picked up a blue buff for himself, too, in the middle of all that. Blue's pretty good on Ezreal, because he can just spam his abilities over and over again while he has it. Red buff, of course, also quite good, but blue, not bad at all on him. Again, best comparison I can make to other champs is like Corki. Corki kind of the same way. If you get a blue on Corki, you can use missile spam, that sort of thing. Okay, anyway, it looks like Fiddlesticks is back doing Dragon once again. And notice the same thing. Pink ward to make sure they have no ward coverage. Then stand in the back. Just pull the Dragon back here where he's safer. Again, if the enemy team comes and wants to kill him, he can always flash over the wall. Can always just hop out that way and make it out safely. But it looks like he's going to be okay here because I don't see any parts of the enemy team. Right here, looks like Nocturne is diving past the rest of our team to try to get to Varus. But again, has that Arcane Shift. Oh, a nice Clairvoyance. There comes the stun from Taric. There's the Arcane, Trueshot Barrage, and that's going to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, Gragas picking up another kill on LeBlanc elsewhere, but now Varus is well out in front of the Snowball, has gotten his third kill now, 3-0-2, and we are starting to run away with this game 11-4 right now, and doing quite well. Now, I did have my teleport up back there, but I looked at the fight. I was watching the fight in top lane, and I was like, you know, our team's not really in any trouble. I think that they can handle this. I'm just going to hold on to teleport, and I'm going to do what Nasus wants to do, which is continue to sit in top lane and continuing to farm. So anyway, right now, Varus and Taric are up here pushing on this tower, and it looks like Fiddlesticks wants to ult in. Maybe getting a little bit greedy up here. This is pretty far into enemy territory, so not nearly as safe up here. There's the stun on Ashe, but she's protected. Oh, here comes Fiddlesticks over the wall, going to jump in there. It's surprise time. Happy parties all around for Fiddlesticks. The enemy team running away with their flashes. Unfortunately, Varus is tanking this tower, and now Nocturne's going to jump on him right here. Oh, getting very, very low. Fiddlesticks going to jump in there, going to try to help out Varus, using the brush to his advantage pretty well. Here comes the exhaust out on right there. Now I'm going to teleport into this fight, Trueshot Barrage, and that's going to finish off one kill. Now I am going to try to chase around here and try to catch the Janna player. Going to try to cut off her escape, but it's not going to matter because Gragas is actually going to finish it off with Barrel. So I'm running around right here right now. Want to go after this Ashe, and right there for some reason I guess I just didn't see the Ashe. If I had been there, I'm going to flash after this, but LeBlanc is going to use her escape to dash over the wall, and I was like, oh, that was really bad. So I did not use my skills very well there. I jumped in with teleport, which was a good idea, but I didn't end up actually doing much of anything in that fight. Oh, and watch this, Ashe Arrow right onto Tark, and now Tark is tanking the tower, and he's still stunned by Ashe Arrow, and oh, that's just unlucky. That's just unlucky. Anyway, I'm going to take down the tower using my ult and using my Siphoning Strike because it does so much damage to towers. But poor Tarek, man, that really stinks. Right when the tower shifted focus to him, Ashe's arrow came in and stunned him, and of course he couldn't get away. And then Ashe also gets credit for the kill because, again, Ashe did hit him with the arrow. So that was either a really sweet play by Ashe or a very unlucky turn of events right there. Okay, Varus needs to go back and buy pretty soon because he's sitting on 3,000 gold. I'm assuming he's going to do that pretty soon. So we're in a very comfortable position in this game. We're out in front in farm. Varus has the most farm in the game, sitting on the 150, and then I'm at 116, Gragas 115. So we're pretty even with Ashe and Ration. Actually, Rumble's a little bit ahead of me, but that's because I've teleported out of the lane twice. So still doing pretty well. And then LeBlanc, a terrible farmer, only on 90 minion kills, as expected. So anyway, gonna keep an eye on middle lane here, because it looks like the enemy team was hanging around. Varus gonna go back to buy, and we'll see what he picks up. I, meanwhile, have finished my Shirelias, and also picked up a Sheen, so that means now I have plenty of cooldown reduction, and anytime, I believe that gives me about 35% cooldown reduction, and anytime I hit someone with that Sheen, anytime I hit them with a Siphoning Strike, it's going to do a lot of damage. Anyway, I probably should have been back here in top. I need to be continuing to farm as Nasus. I want to continue farming up that Siphoning Strike, but I went mid because it looked like there was going to be a team fight, and I'm not sure. I think I'm going to head back to top lane now. Yeah, it looks like it. Anyway, so Varus on this trip back has picked up a Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster being a pretty good item on Ezreal as well. It gives you the damage, gives you the lifesteal. I don't necessarily always see people building Bloodthirster on Ezreal, but it seems to be more common than Infinity Edge, just because Ezreal doesn't really get anything from a critical strike build. Anyway, there's another fight going on here. I'm going to run in here and go after these guys. Don't know if we're going to get a kill. Here comes Fiddlesticks going to come in here along with Tark. There's the Crowstorm ult. I don't know why I am backing off here. Don't think I was even particularly that low. But Fiddlestick's going to jump in. Is there going to be another kill on either side? I actually can't remember what was going on here. Here they go, chasing after Fiddlesticks. He just got feared right there by Nocturne. Are we going to be able to help him out? Here I come into the fight. Again, wish we could see what was going on. And let's see, right now, Rumble is coming into the fight. There we go. There we get the health bars. And oh, Tark is so low. He is going to get finished off. Trueshot Barrage coming in. And right there, I'm going to finish off LeBlanc. Now chasing after Nocturne right there. I have popped my ult. Look how much damage those Siphoning Strikes are doing. So I'm going to score actually a double kill there. Although I believe that my positioning was not the best. I was a little late getting into that fight. I backed off before, and our teammates were going in and fighting. So I think I could have been done better. But needless to say, we're going to go 3 for 1 in that fight. The only one who actually died was Tark. Now right there you see the biggest weakness of Nasus. Notice how Ashe was kiting me with her frost arrows. That is the biggest weakness, like I said, of Nasus. He's very susceptible to kiting. So Ashe is really a bad matchup for him. Ashe is worse than just about any of the other ranged carries due to the fact that Nasus can be kited so easily. But needless to say, we still did well in that fight. I'm now 3-0. No, Varus is 3-0-5 and I'm 3-0-2. So we're both having pretty solid games here overall. And Varus has just been farming like a maniac. He seems to be able to keep getting all this farm, which is great because he's an AD carry and they scale better than just about anyone else in the late game. Plus his Bloodthirster is getting farmed up, about halfway farmed up at this point, maybe a little bit more than halfway farmed up. Let's see, so right here, Mystic Shot. Look how much damage that Mystic Shot's doing to Ashe, and it slows as well, and not going to be able to hit on that one, but Trueshot Barrage has almost come off of cooldown, so nearly able to get that kill. Now, while Varus continues to farm mid, notice what's going on. Rumble over here. Rumble continuing to push out, continuing to farm. Doesn't realize that the cavalry is coming in behind him. So here we go. I'm going to come in here. I have red buff, so I'll slow. He's going to flash right there, but his Tark is going to hit the stun. Gragas is going to hit the barrel, and I'm just continuing to wail away on him with Siphoning Strike, and Gragas is going to get that kill, and that's going to set us up to get this tower without any real difficulty. Meanwhile, Varus over here, Nocturne has engaged with our Fiddlesticks. It's a competition to see who can fear the best, and right there, Nocturne's going to flash over that wall. So he's going to escape, but his flash is now down, and we did just take another tower. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting here continuing to farm that Siphoning Strike. I'm like, Gragas, don't toss your barrels. I must farm my Q. Anyway, over here, it looks like we're setting up. I think that, don't know if we took their red buff or they took it, but it is down right now. Oh, and by the way, just kudos to our teammates. Look at this word coverage. A word here, another word there. Just tremendous word coverage over here. Over here, I've caught Janna, Gragas, and Fiddlesticks have caught Janna, and now another fight going on over here. Unfortunately, it looks like Taric was equally caught, so support's going down on all sides. Support's getting bursted on both sides, with LeBlanc picking up that kill. However, we have a 4-on-4, and we were like, should we push into the base? Nah, probably not a good idea, so we're going to back. Right here, Varys has gone into the brush, and it looks like he's just going to recall back to base safely. So one of us is going to ping Dragon. I think that that was one of us. We're like, hey, why don't we just go grab Dragon? But again, just can't give enough credit to the teammates for all these words. Again, right there, right there, right there, and right there. So we can see anything that happens in the top side of the enemy team's jungle. Like, they cannot hide from us up here. And when you have word coverage like that, and the enemy team doesn't have an oracle, it just makes it so easy to play the game when you have sight like that. Just really, really nice. So anyway, we're going to grab this Dragon right here. Going to grab another one uncontested. Meanwhile, and Nocturne is just pushing down here. Notice the Trueshot Barrage. Notice how Varys was farming that minion wave while he wasn't here. So Nocturne just going to push this tower, and we were sort of like, what is he doing? There's no way he's going to get out of here. So Gragas going to toss the barrel. Here comes Fiddlesticks on the Fear, and then I'm going to wither him. And let's see, boom, Siphoning Strike, you're dead. Plus 3 damage, Nasus. Alright, so let's see. On the trip back to base, what did Varys get? Varys has picked up a BF sword. Okay, and this is something he told me about after the game. We were talking about different item builds. This would not be part of the standard Ezreal build. Normally, you would either build, either you would look at maybe getting some attack speed or going for Trinity Force, but Varys said, or you would go for Last Whisper to get the ArmPen, but Varys said he looked at the enemy team and didn't see any armor on there. Wow, look at Taric going in crazy, man, diving into the middle of the enemy team. Fiddlestick's going to ult in as well. Really nice. Janna trying to ult him away, but it's not going to be enough. So Taric, wild man, going in there, but getting us 2 kills in the process. So nice job, Taric, I guess I have to say. Nice job, Taric. I was split pushing, and I was going to teleport in if we needed it, but didn't seem like I could really do all that much on a teleport. So I'm just going to continue pushing this side lane, continuing to farm up my Q. Now, maybe I should have jumped in right here, but I thought that they would be able to get the tower with no real issues. Anyway, to get back to my earlier point, what I was saying about itemization on Ezreal, Varys said he looked at the enemy team, looked and saw didn't see any armor on their team. Let's see, a little bit on Wriggles, and that's it. No armor items anywhere on the enemy team except for Wriggles. So he was like, I don't need to get Last Whisper. I don't need to go for Trinity Force. Don't need extra survivability or any of the other bonus stats from Trinity Force. Just going to go straight for max damage and just going to go for Infinity Edge. So again, that's not part of the standard Ezreal build, but it's the sort of thing that you could do. You can do if you're ahead. Now right here, they're going to initiate with Ashe Era, but notice this. We have the ward right here, so I'm going to teleport into this fight and come in from behind. Gragas is going to get a kill on Ashe, and then I'm going to race into the battle right here. There's the Wither on Rumble, and bam, Siphoning Strike, going to finish him off. So that's going to score 2 kills, although Rumble did manage to finish off Gragas right before he died. So again, having that teleport, when you have wards in the enemy team struggle on teleport, I bet they didn't expect to have a big raging galactic Nasus just jump in behind them right there and polish off a kill. So anyway, I was able to get another kill right there. And again, we were able to go 2 for 1, so not great, but we were able to go 2 for 1. Oh, and right here, this is hilarious. Nocturne wanted to ult Varys, but he arcane shifted into the brush, and he could not ult him because he couldn't see him. So a neat little trick there that you can do. If Nocturne does not have sight on your character, he cannot hit you with his ultimate. And meanwhile, while they were focusing on top lane, our Fiddlesticks and Taric player are going to go out to this tower, and I believe that they're going to finish this one off here as balloon animals go flying all about in the minion wave. Looks like they're going to get that one, and then we're going to back off right there. Going to go and make a play for their blue. I'm going to go try to grab this. And look, again, another ward going down right here. Just tremendous word coverage all throughout this game. We've had great word coverage. So now they can see it. The enemy team is going to try and grab them at blue. Enemy team is going to use Clairvoyance right here, so they have to be careful about doing this. Have to get this and get out. So let's see what's going to happen. Janna coming in here, and it looks like they are going to get the blue on Taric. Also going to get Rumble ultimate down. Are they going to be able to run out of this, though? Here comes Nocturne. Here comes Rumble. Both of them have used their ultimates, though, and Fiddlesticks needs to flash over the wall. There he is. He did not fail the flash, despite what the replay mode might have indicated right there. And let's see, right now, here comes Rumble, here comes Ashe. I was grabbing red buff. Varys had their red, so I was grabbing theirs, but I probably should have been in this fight. Instead, though, Rumble going to walk into Fiddlesticks, going to get drained, going to get stunned by Taric. Can he manage to make it out over the wall? Trueshot Barrage! Oh, looks like it just barely missed him there. Think that he did not hit. Either that Rumble shield was enough to stop it, or he just missed on it. Anyway, now going into the fight right here, and right there coming in, there's the stun on LeBlanc. She's going to try to dash away. It's going to help her out. Looks like she is going to make it out of here. Crow Storm ultimate coming in there. Nice Janna ult to counter, but that fear, Nocturne's going to walk in the exact wrong direction and it's going to be enough. I'm going to walk him right back into the Crow Storm. Happy fun time, and that's going to be enough to score the kill. Anyway, I was not in that fight. That was not good by me. I should have been in that fight. I mean, we won it easily. We went 3-0 nonetheless, but I should have been there. Instead, I was grabbing the minion wave and pushing it up here so that we have minions. So I'm going to type that into teammates. So with 3 down, there's really no way that they can fight this. As soon as we have the minions, just going to walk in here, and we're going to take this tower, and we're going to grab our first inhibitor of the game. Presumably, see, there's still a couple seconds on the revive timer. So I'm just going to walk in here, going to start tanking the tower. Wither on Ashe. Again, Nasa's so good against AD carries. Ashe is going to arrow me, but I'm going to flash over, and Ashe just going to get one-shotted right there. And continuing the Siphon Strike, there we go. An easy double kill. But the tower, for some reason, shifted to focusing on Varus, and so he's actually going to die there. I don't know why. I think maybe I went out of tower range up here, but we're going to get this pretty easily. LeBlanc is trying to burst me down, but I'm just going to walk out of there and get her to shift targets away from me. Taric doing good damage to Janna, and right there's the Wither on LeBlanc. Gragas Barrel coming in there. Now we just need to finish this off, and let's see, are we going to get her? Yes, Taric stun, Dazzle for the win, going to finish off that kill, and from here, with 3 of them dead, we should be able to get this inhibitor quite easily. Yeah, stun kill OP, Varus is coming in, and there is the Infinity Edge that I talked about before. Again, normally Infinity Edge Bloodthirster is a pretty silly build on Ezreal, but if the other team has no armor whatsoever, then yeah, you know, it can be viable. Also, normally you're not going to be fed with this much gold in an Ezreal game, but if you've got this much gold, who knows, maybe you can go for it. So anyway, we were able to score a second tower, but notice the enemy team is reviving right here. I actually popped Shirelia's there, wanted to try to go in and wither Ashe, but this is an over pursuit on our part. The enemy team has revived, they're coming after us. Gonna toss down Spirit Fire, but with Ashe kiting with her frost arrows, there's really no way we're gonna be able to turn and fight this, or gonna be able to escape. So Gragas and I are just going to walk out, and sorry about that, Taric. I mean, again, no offense, but there's not much we could do. Anyway, Nocturne, I don't know what he was doing. I think he had kind of given up on this game, was just pushing lanes into suicide. Yeah, so sorry for the other team about that, but Varus going to be able to score it. Or actually, I think Fiddlesticks got that kill, but Varus and Fiddlesticks going to split that kill pretty easily because Nocturne in a bad position. And now we were like, oh wait, Nocturne's dead. The jungler's dead, so let's just force Baron. You know, might as well. They do have an inhib down. They're kind of out of position. They're kind of defending their base, so this seems like a good moment to go and grab Baron, and it's going down quite fast. If you look at the numbers in front over Baron's head, going down quite fast, so we're going to be able to grab that, and let's all go back and buy. Going to have a party back at the Nexus as everybody recalls in unison. Let's see, here we go. Blue circle, blue circle, blue circle, bam, bam, bam. Teleporting back up to the Starship Enterprise. Okay, so everybody going to go back to buy. I was able to finish Trinity Force with that. Again, Trinity Force always been the key item on Nasus. So after you max out that cooldown reduction, going to grab Trinity Force, Megatron Cloak, Regrowth Pendant. That is for a Force of Nature. Force of Nature, great because will give me the extra magic resist, so more tanky, give me the health regen, and the movement speed. Movement speed, very critical on Nasus. Basically no ranged abilities, very susceptible to kiting, so movement speed will be very, very important on Nasus. I'm up to 446. That feels awful fast. I wonder why that is. Oh, that was because I have Trinity Force. Never mind. I was like, why is that? I was like, oh, because I have Trinity Force. So yes, with Trinity Force and Force of Nature, you are much less susceptible to kiting with Nasus, so that's why those are such critical parts of his build. Anyway, though, at this point we are very far ahead. We're in an extremely comfortable position. Nocturne doing his suicide split pushing again for whatever reason, and with this inhib unexposed, we're just going to push mid and go for this. Looks like Varus is going to hang back and deal with Nocturne, but the rest of the team can head up here. There is the Shirelias, is trying to see if we could catch up, and indeed, there we go. Taric is going to hit the stun on Ashe. I'm just going to race into the middle of the enemy team. Janna going to pop her ultimate right there. Maybe a bit of a waste, and we're going to continue doing this fight. Unfortunately, Varus is fighting with Nocturne over there at the other side of the map, so we don't have replays up here at the top, but we're going to continue going in. I want Ashe, and in fact, Taric is going to get the kill, but we are going to continue fighting, so there are 2 kills going down right now. Varus continuing to chase after Nocturne. There's the Arcane Shift, needs that Mystic Shot, and let's see. Oh, he actually has not gotten the kill yet, but there it is. Going to finish that off right there, and together that's going to be an ace with us fighting in 2 parts of the map. Fiddlestick's going to use his Zanyas there. I think he thought that a tower was shooting at him, and he wanted to drop aggression from the tower. So that is an ace 5-0. A little hard to see that last fight because Varus was on the other side of the map and wasn't with us, but we should be able to finish this off with no real issues. And indeed, here comes, looks like the enemy team was not very happy. Although, to be fair, that Nocturne was trolling. That Nocturne was intentionally feeding. So, I think that was actually quite fair on the part of Nocturne. Or on the part of Rumble, excuse me. That Nocturne really was feeding. I'm trolling when your lane went 7-0. He has TP. Anyway, I have no idea what that means, but we'll look at the stat screen, finish this match. Okay, here we go on the wrap-up screen. You can see how everybody finished with all the item builds, with the total gold, with the farming stats. Varus ending up 5-1-13, 255 minion kills, had a little bit less gold than Gragas because Gragas ended up with the 14 kills, but obviously had a very far advanced item build and definitely won the bottom lane along with his Taric partner over that Ashe-Janna pairing. Ashe and Janna just never really able to get going. I guess Ashe did end up with Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer, but it looks like it was a little bit too late at that point in time. As I said in the video, this Ezreal build was dependent on what people were doing in the game. If you want a little bit more information on how to build Ezreal and what Varus was doing in this game, he sent me some notes, and I'm going to put them in the video description right underneath this, so check them out if you want to see a little bit more about what the theory was behind this and what a more normal Ezreal build would look like down there in the comments. So go ahead and check that out in the video description. I ended up 7-0-6. I actually ended up not dying in this game, although I came close a couple of times. Used that same Nasus build that I talked about last week in the Button Mashers video, so go ahead and check that out if you want a little bit more information on that. Next item would have been, what was it, Force of Nature, as I said. Got a lot of hits on the Siphoning Strike, a little bit fewer than I did in the previous game that I posted with Nasus. Again, with no disrespect to the Nasus player I was playing against in that game, I was under more pressure from the Rumble in this game, and so I didn't get quite as many. I think I had about 450 bonus damage on Siphoning Strike at the end of the game, but I was hitting very, very hard, and you may have noticed that when I went up to Ashe and I had my Trinity Force, I hit her and she lost half her health in one Siphoning Strike. So again, like I said, Nasus is susceptible to kiting, and it can be difficult to get next to Ashe, but if I could get next to her, Ashe had no items that gave her any armor whatsoever, so I was able to hit for just ridiculous damage when I got close to Ashe. As far as the rest of our team played really well. Our Fiddlesticks player did a great job of controlling Dragon. He took the early Dragons with that pink ward. He was able to use his Crowstorm ult very effectively. Gragas just literally destroyed LeBlanc in middle lane, got the 14 kills, and played very, very strong. I wonder why he got the Sunfire Cape. Seems like a strange item choice to get there. But other than that, I mean, he certainly played great. And then our Taric player was aggressive to the point of committing suicide sometimes, but he was able to set us up for a couple of kills. I think I pointed out that one fight where he dove in and basically suicided, but got us 2 kills in the process. So whatever, I mean, if it works, I have to imagine that's not going to work in some games, but it did work out here. So kudos to our Taric player for helping us out and setting us up. Now, just one final note. I don't want anyone to say that, don't want to hear any more comments about this Nasus build, about me playing terrible players, because that General Scud, the Rumble player, is a 1670 ELO player, so ranked over 1600, so I don't want to hear any more points about how it only worked because I was up against garbage players, because pretty much everybody that we're playing in these normal draft pick mode games is 15 to 1600 rating. So, again, it's not world beating. I mean, I wasn't playing Poe Belter or Wicked up in top lane, and I'm well aware of that, but the level of competition is pretty respectable in these games if we're playing people who are in the 1600 rating range. Anyway, this rambled on enough here. Going to wrap this up. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Gonna finish it here. Until next time, have a good week. I'll see you guys later.